Hey guys, welcome to Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds. I'm Nerdarchist Ryan, and today I'm joined by the crew.
Dave.
Nate.
And today we're doing a Monster BFF where we're going to hodgepodge together the Harpy located on which page?
181.
Okay, and also the Vine Blight located on page 32 of the Monster Manual. And see how these guys get along together. How do they play?
So, the thing about the Harpy is they're just friggin' sadistic bitches, pretty much.
Right.
They love to lure people into dangerous situations. And
the
then,
screams of people was like music to their ears.
Yeah, and then rip them apart when they get the chance.
Yeah.
From the safe, when they can do it from relative safety.
And their song turns people into lemmings towards their voice, so they'll just walk into anything, walk over anything, cliff-wise, or dangerous spike traps, or into vine blights.
So this one, gets a kick out of, luring adventurers into monsters.
Yep, that's true.
To let them do the dirty work for her.
Now you could have her lure them into pretty much any type of monster, but we selected one in a nasty forest.
Well, so we'd done a terrible terrain about the Crawlwood, which was an awful forest that you never want to find yourself into. So I could see this Harpy kind of regarding herself as a bit of a gardener. She lures people into the vine blights. And the vine plates, they have this lovely ability that can recharge. We're entangling plants sort of sprout around it. So this is going to hinder the entirety of the party that's not entranced by the call of the Harpy.
Without damaging them.
Without damaging them. Well, so this could restrain the person that's being called to. Or they could try to avoid it, let that one march to their death, and just deal with the ones that aren't entrenched. Maybe it's a hunting tactic that they notice the things that have the wits about them and the ones that don't. In that regard, because they're not super bright. They have a 5 intelligence, but they have an intelligence score. Darn it.
Yeah, I mean that's smart enough to know. Or the other thing I was thinking when it comes to Harpy and any kind of monster, really, once they hear the song, the monster hears the song, and if it's a monster that is not affected by the song, they know, that's like rattling the cage.
Yeah.
For the rat or the hamster, they know what time it is.
Yeah.
Even fish, you walk by fish with the container of fish food, they start congregating near the top.
Yeah, I would say as a plant, they're considered a plant creature, so they're probably immune to this.
Well,
yeah, they are. Humanoids and giants.
Yeah, well, just to clear that up, if the Harpy's within 60 feet, they've got blind sight, but they are blind and deafened. So I don't know if I'm assuming blind sight lets you hear.
Yeah.
Even though it's called blind sight.
Yeah.
I would probably. I would think not.
Sensing location.
Yeah, it depends on how you sense. No, you just have to look and see, if they're humanoid or not.
Well,
if they're not.
Yeah.
They're not affected.
Oh, they're not affected by it.
And also,
what I mean is they know they hear something going on through if it's close enough.
Sound waves going across their leaves
it's gonna
and whatever
make
sensors they have.
It's going to make some sound. It's going to make some disturbance in the area.
In the force, perhaps.
Yeah.
In the area.
Yeah, and the Harpy's clearly out of range of the vine blights, even if the blind blights had any harm to want to visit upon the Harpy, or just wanting to eat the Harpy. Let's be honest.
Well, I mean, they're even though they're vines, they're floor-based things. So then they've got the ability to entangle in a radius around them. But it's not like a dome. It's like going along.
Well, it might go out to 15 foot, but her range is 60 feet, and so she'd probably go
stay out
25,
of the range,
30 feet away.
Are they at 15-foot reach?
No, 15-foot radius
of the entangling.
This entangling effect.
Yeah.
So it drops entangle basically.
Okay.
As a recharge effect.
So the entangle, is that damaging?
No,
it's restraining.
Oh, so there's no damage about it. So they could absolutely entangle people that are under the song of the Harpy, and that will not cause
They'll
a saving
just
throw.
Still try to lemming their way toward the Harpy.
They're like,
exactly.
Now they can constrict. So
they could, but they could choose
people.
not to as well.
Yeah.
So if they could constrict the ones that are still actively fighting,
and they're kind of tough. So even if they start constricting some of these people, you're dealing damage to some of the party members. They're having difficulty because some of them might even still be under the spell even after being hurt. Because it's a DC 11, DC 12 save for some of these. So it's easy if you've got the save.
Well, no,
or if you have the stat.
What we're saying is tactically, these things know to avoid the entranced ones. They attack the ones with their wits about them. The ones with their wits about them still could be entangled, so that's a thing that's working against them. So like, you know, they're like the Vine Blight is like fighting the adventurers that are actively trying to cut themselves loose because they like sense it. And then, but the ones that are just like marching in place, they're like, well,
we can leave them alone for now.
We'll leave you to feed till later.
And they might have developed this tactic over time with, you know, villagers in the local area. This like, oh yeah, you know, eat the ones that are feisty first, and then deal with the ones that are just kind of like trying to shuffle away.
Yeah, like something
like
of
zombies or something.
Of like, you know, like slightly better than animal intelligence. I think could figure.
Oh
that
yeah,
out. Yeah.
I think they'd figure. Yeah, a few times they'd figure out which ones put up the fight, which ones don't,
Yeah. So.
and plan accordingly.
All I'm saying, if fish can figure it out.
Well, they do have a common language. Like they've got common.
Yeah,
so
they speak the common.
They're
Yeah,
deaf,
they do.
They're deaf, but they've got blind sight and they speak common.
Yeah. Well, and so like even the Harpy can like negotiate.
Does it say they're deaf?
They're deafened and blind. There's a. Oh wait,
I think probably for spell effects.
Condition immunity. So oops.
Oh. Right.
I just read conditions and then skipped the immunities part.
Nice. Yeah.
So we made this whole like meta system for a thing that's not even an issue. For
Yeah, I
Well,
thought that
you
was
know,
kind of weird.
Yeah. I thought it was kind of strange myself. They like didn't have eyes, but I was like, okay, that's weird defense, but whatever.
I'm cool.
Oh, but their senses. This is where I thought they were blinded and deafened. They're not deafened, but they have blind sight to 60 feet, but they're actually blind beyond that. I did read that right. Blind beyond this radius, yes.
Yes, but
I've
they can
read,
hear.
Yes. So they can hear far, they can hear the song.
Right, so they hear the song, they shuffle onto it and be like,
Yeah.
all right, feeding time.
Yeah, so sorry about that.
Because the
Mess
fish
up.
have the power to, so do we.
Yeah. So
Yeah, 5 intelligence, definitely smarter than a goldfish.
Yeah, like seriously, you put a couple of these things up against a party with the Harpy, and they'll give like a third or fourth level party some hard times.
Well, and that's the other thing that's kind of cool because the Harpy is only a CR1 monster, and these guys are, what are they, halves?
Yeah.
Halves. Don't throw more than 1/2 against your party if they're low level, because you're gonna kill somebody.
Well,
Personal experience.
orcs are only half, and they killed Taris. Poor Taris.
Yeah,
like
and that was
second level.
4 orcs versus like 8 people.
Yeah,
Right?
it was
Yeah.
a big party.
Yeah, so that was like you would expect that it would be okay, but no.
Hey, the
No.
dice did not love us that night.
Yeah.
But you know, anyway.
Yeah.
They love Taris to death.
Yes, they wanted to hug him forever.
So the idea is this: the Harpy sets up shop, in a location where probably where there's there's a highway or something, maybe near the edge of the crawlwood because it moves, and she what she does is she lures travelers into the crawlwood, and either she's planned it this way or the Vine Blights figure it out that where the song is there will be food, and she kind of lures them in, and they gang up on them, and then she does what she loves to do, which is swoop down and hit things on the head.
Yeah, well, and also too, like once the party's been vanquished, not that you're gonna kill the party, but like the sort of like the meta of like why she would do this is like eventually the Vine Blights just move on, and then she takes, if there's anything interesting, she has some souvenirs.
Well, yeah, that's absolutely true because Harpies like shiny stuff and babbles, and they're kind of bird like that. And yeah, absolutely. Once once the travelers are murdered, the Vine Blights aren't going to actually care about the stuff, and they probably will just move on. The song's gone. There's no more food.
Or she might use the song to train them, where like she goes sing somewhere else, moves them off, she comes back. Like she doesn't have to wait for them to shamble off.
Yeah, but I feel like for that one
They get upset about not getting fulfilled.
You should see our red herring video and the problems of throwing out red herrings
For the vines?
yeah. They're like, I'm not going again because it's it's
Last
like
time
Al
there's no
Bundy
food.
with the pizza that never comes. It's awful.
The pizza never comes. The adventurers never come for the poor Vine Blights who are starving.
So you can't really train it that way, or it won't work.
But I do see her as like, a gardener or a cultivator. Like maybe she does like actually cultivate a relationship with the vines. If like she nurtures them in a way.
Yeah.
Like
You said
give
they
it
actually have a language?
They speak common,
They speak
right?
common.
That's really weird.
They're the only blights that can speak.
Yeah.
So
Supposedly, due to their extreme connection to the Galtheus tree or whatever it is that all blights are
spawn from.
Yeah.
So she could literally negotiated with them, and like it's not even like they're training an animal, because a 5 intelligence is still far above animal.
Yeah, what's that? You can talk to ogres, right? Ogres are 5, I think, 5 or 6. So
off the top of my head, I don't know what an ogre is, but I know, a 5 is still, you're able to speak and you're cognizant. So
yeah, they're 5.
yeah, so they're at least as smart as an ogre.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe he's bad tempered, not sure, but they're little. But they have a harpy in their corner.
They
Yeah.
do have a harpy.
So
Well, so these are
that
medium.
elevates the
they're
threat.
medium. Yeah, they're not too small.
No,
Get some size to them.
well, next to an ogre, they're small.
Yeah. That's true.
Not size small next to an ogre.
Yeah, everything by scale.
So the good-meaning buddies of these people that are trying to stop them from walking off to their doom, to get trapped by the vine blights, because the vine blights. Another thing, I don't know if we mentioned it, was the false appearance. They look just like vines on the ground.
So it's like the gargoyle. They're like, you're not gonna notice them at all.
yeah,
ever.
it's just a creature covered in moss. And
Which,
stuff.
you know what? I love that this edition has it, because if you have
Yeah,
the entire
perception check my ass.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, perception check this. Like, because when you have the monster that are like the lurker monsters, like out of a party of like 6 adventurers, somebody's gonna roll like a 15 plus, and there's not a chance that your ambush monster's ever going to do the thing that it was built to do.
Or they're gonna have the ungodly checks.
Well, the ungodly checks, but not only that, but like a party of 5 people, somebody's going to roll a really good roll. Like it's absolutely bound to happen that there's nothing you could roll against them that's going to compete with what one of 5 people has rolled to notice something. So, thumbs up to the ambush monsters in this edition.
And not necessarily a 5th edition problem, because rarely do you have a guy that's got like 20 something as their thing.
That's
But
actually really easy to get.
it is easy to get, but it requires
feat.
feats,
Yeah.
and it requires
A high wisdom.
So
Like my character in Scotch
I'm not
Game,
taking it.
I'm like, I don't actually want to roll. I just want to use my passive.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, because it's a baseline of 10. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
so I mean, sacrificing a feat to be able to do that, that's cool, but yeah.
But it's even cooler
I like that.
that our
there's a-
Blight Vine says, I don't care if you
Yeah,
sacrifice the
I
feat.
just look like a pile of vines.
Because I will sacrifice you to the harpy.
Yes. So I don't know. I think we have the motive, we have the relationship. Yeah, I think
With the candlestick.
with the candlestick. I think we took it from the wrong angle a little bit when we started, because this monster is the vine blight is actually way smarter than I thought.
And has a language.
And
has a language.
the biggest thing is it actually has a language, so it can communicate. So
Well,
I
the
can
other ones
I definitely see them wheeling and dealing with the harpy.
Yeah,
And,
I still want her to be like almost kind of patronizing and that like a grandmother like watering a plant, but it's just like, hey, I'm a vine, and stuff.
Maybe
yeah.
macabre, like she tries to water them with blood and
Yeah, all this kind of stuff.
she's pruning them.
Yeah, she's like tending a garden, but it's vine blight. Yeah. So I'm into that idea.
Creepy. Definitely good for the crawlwood.
So belongs in the crawlwood.
So with that, let's crawl wood all out of here. So, guys, let us know if that combination, Harpy, Vine Blight, what do you think? Put in the comments below. I got like, share, and subscribe.
You can screech at us over on Twitter.
You can also check out the articles at nerdarchy.com.
Till next time.
Stay nerdy.